State's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in Sacramento, and we are joined today by Mike McGuire. He is a member of the California State Senate. What a beautiful district you have, and a diverse district, kind of urban, suburban areas, as well as some rural areas. And so you have been focused on making sure that all areas of your district and the state get the attention they deserve, including and especially with regard to career technical education.
No, you're absolutely right. And good to see you again, Brad.
Absolutely.
My goodness, thanks so much for having us on.
Sure.
So the district runs from the Golden Gate Bridge to the Oregon border.
Oh my,
yeah,
right.
You got
Wow.
the redwoods, the wine country, 40% of the California coastline.
How long from the Golden Gate Bridge to the Oregon border? How many hours?
Well, it depends if you're going up to Crescent City in Del
Right.
Norte County or heading over the mountain to Weaverville and Trinity County.
Okay.
So it could be anywhere between 5.5 and 7.5 hours.
But that's the key. I mean, I digress for a second, but people think the state ends in San Francisco, maybe
Right,
Sacramento. We'll
exactly.
let Sacramento be in North
yeah,
State.
yeah.
But there is so much more above and beautiful territory.
You're absolutely right. In fact, it's funny because folks say everyone thinks that Northern California is the San Francisco Bay Area.
Right.
But you have some significant countryside as you get north of the Golden Gate Bridge.
I want to continue digressing, if I may. You're from the southern portion of your district.
Sonoma County.
And so tell me what you learned about your new friends in Del Norte and all those beautiful coastal counties.
Absolutely. First of all, some of the best people that you can ever work with, right? And it's incredible. Number two, we've really been impacted by this big crab closure. Fisheries is one of the top industries, right? And you still have timber, and of course you have marijuana.
Right. Oh, yes, you do.
as
That's in the
well.
conversation
My
for
goodness.
next time.
Absolutely.
And you have the drought.
You do have the drought.
Or the lack of now, at least in North State.
And what we've seen in the North State is that significant improvement when it comes to the drought. In fact, both Humboldt and Del Norte County, they're out of the drought according to the State Water Resources Control Board, which is great news. At the same time, though, you have a lot of struggle, a lot of poverty. And the other really interesting part of this district, there are more Native American tribes in this district than anywhere else in the western United States.
I was recently interviewing someone from Del Norte.
Oh, yeah.
And she was telling me that their economy is really suffering, and really the only employer of significance, I guess there's a prison there or a jail. I'm not sure if it's a prison or a jail. But, I mean, God bless them. But you would hope there'd be more industry than just the correctional institution.
And that's where we've really been finding the struggle, right? You've seen collapse of the timber industry since the 80s. You have some real challenges when it comes to the fisheries because of the domoic acid in the ocean this year because of the warm temperatures, and a lack of industry. And that's where we've really been focused. We have to make sure that we're focusing on good jobs for our local communities.
Which takes us back to Career Tech. Perfect segue, if I may say so.
No, hey, there we go.
And so let's talk about Career Tech because, look, so many of us think, you know, especially those in professions, that everyone goes to college, and if you don't go to college, something's wrong with you. What a load of bunk. Not everyone's college bound, and that's okay.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
In fact, 72% of public high school graduates in California will not go on to achieve a four-year college degree.
That's okay.
It is okay, but I think where I've been really concerned is that we do not have the results-driven career training job skill classes in our middle schools and public high schools. And that's where we've really been focused.
And especially in those small rural counties.
Absolutely.
It's easy to have Career Tech in Sonoma County, LA County, even San Luis Obispo County, where there's larger population centers, but not in Del Norte.
No, and that's why we have been so focused in on that, because what we know is graduation rates go from about 75% on average in California to 95% if a student is involved in a career technical education class or classes. So not only is it good for graduation rates, but we also know it's good for long-term earning potential for those students.
You must be very proud, if I may say, because last year, your first year in the Senate, you were able to push through a bill, SB 148 is the number, and it is providing almost $1 billion over several years. Is it 3 years?
3 years, yeah, you're absolutely right.
For Career Tech. Tell us about that, sir.
Yeah, so what we have seen is we've seen significant reductions in career technical education since the recession, and we never restored those cuts. So what this $900 million over the next 3 years will do is invest in results-driven career technical and job skill classes in every corner. So what we do is we link those classes to the top 5 growth industries in each county. So if it's timber, or if it's health, or if it's senior care, we're going to link those classes to those growth industries. So it's based off of data so that we have those classes that link to a community college that would then link to those industries that are relevant to the county.
That's inspired, if I may say. I know there are 58 counties, and I know you don't have all top 5 memorized in all 58 counties, but do you know what seems to be some of the top 3 in several counties?
Absolutely. So one of the challenges that we continue to have is service industry continues to be one of the top growth industries in California, particularly tourism. So what we know is tourism, particularly along the coast, along the North Coast, but even, and we go into Southern California. What we also know is senior care is one of the top growing industries because we're an aging population. We also know that education is going to continue to be very relevant. Over the next 10 years, we're going to have significant retirements in the public education system, both in the classified and the certificate.
We have teacher shortages.
Absolutely.
We know that.
And then the other area is light manufacturing. So light manufacturing is going to be a significant growth, particularly minority-owned businesses. So what we've seen is migration of some of those larger manufacturing firms move elsewhere in the nation. But what's starting to take their place are smaller light manufacturing firms, potentially medical devices, what we've seen in the North State, that are really starting to take hold. And it's because we have an educated workforce that's ready to go.
So look, I know the program's new and results are still, pending, but you do have an accountability index or metrics.
Absolutely.
What do you know so far? Is it going well?
It is going well, and in fact what we're starting to see is that districts are investing. And the other important part of this legislation is that the state will put in 50%. If the district puts in 50%. So school districts have to have skin in the game, which is right? And it shows that they are committed to it, and the state will match that. So that is a 50-50 match, which we're really focusing on, and we are starting to see it take off. In fact, we have more requests for funding than there is actual funding available.
Speaking of matches, we know a lot of healthcare funding comes through match.
Absolutely.
Either, it's usually state to federal. And you're looking to, I believe, leverage some federal dollars with regard to children who need longer-term care in the home.
You're absolutely right. So just quick statistics. You have 5,000 kids, the sickest kids in the state of California. It's a federal mandate that we are providing in-home nursing for them across the state.
Is it cheaper? Less expensive?
Absolutely. So the average hospital stay per day in the NICU or in the ICU, $5,000 per day that is costing taxpayers. $500 per day, 10 times cheaper to be able to have young kids in the home. And by the way, that's where they should be. After they receive the appropriate medical care in the hospital, everyone wants to go home if you're not feeling good, right? So let's provide that opportunity. We have not seen a rate increase. It's in pediatric Medi-Cal in 15 years. And in fact, during the recession, we saw a 1% cut.
Well, sir, I mean, our reimbursement rates in California are abysmal. I think it's 50 out of 50.
Yeah, we are among one of the lowest. We are the lowest of Western states when it comes to pediatric Medi-Cal. And we're talking about kids who are on breathing tubes, who have significant heart conditions, who have brain conditions. They may be preemie babies. And we are not funding this federal mandate. And by the way, by law, we have to, which is why we're moving forward on a 20% increase.
Let's talk about that. It's a pilot program?
It is a pilot program.
How is that going to work?
So the way it's going to work is the city and county of Los Angeles, several counties in the Central Valley, 9 Bay Area counties. Reason being is the greatest need are in the Bay Area, Central Valley, and LA. So what it would be is a 20% bump. And here's what we see. There are 1,200 in-home nursing agencies in California. Only 400 take Medi-Cal. Only 300 of the 400 actually take these sick kids, pediatric Medi-Cal. And so in a lot of counties, there's no services available. Or on average, a child is getting 25% of what they need. And these are our sickest kids. And what are we doing? And what we also know is being able to do this 20% bump is not only going to be good for the child's health, it's going to save taxpayers millions.
And what happens if the program goes well?
So if it goes well, we want to be able to expand it on a statewide basis. And what we know is for every dollar that the state of California puts in, we're going to get $1 from the feds. So it's a great investment, not only for the kids, but it's also for the taxpayers.
Let us know what happens. His name is Mike McGuire. He is a member of the California State Senate. My name is Brad Pomerance in Sacramento, local edition.